displaying the glory of God's creation by exploring America one park at a time. Welcome to Parking Full Time with Big Dave, the parks professor. First hole. The par and the distance are at the top of the screen. The entire front nine on this course is heavily wooded, and this hole is somewhat tight, although there are tighter holes to come. I want to welcome you back to Parking Full Time. I am Big Dave, the parks professor. We are at Randolph Park. We are in the New River Valley of Western Virginia. Closest town to here is Dublin, Virginia. There's the view from behind the basket back up the first hole. Second hole plays over a low and gradual ridge. We did just step across a walking path here, and there's a system of walking path that goes throughout the wooded areas of this course. Honestly, when I came here, I didn't see very many people on the walking trails. I did see 2 or 3 other groups on the disc golf course, so I didn't have any issues with pedestrians when I played here. Going slightly downhill now, and there is the basket there off to the left. And there's the view from behind the basket back up to the tee. Third hole, and I need to say a word about tees and baskets at this point. Most holes on this course have 2 or 3 tees, and most holes on this course have 2 baskets. There's the yellow basket, which is kind of where I would expect the basket to be on that particular hole. And then there's also a white basket, which you see off to the right here. The white basket is generally in a more clever location. Sometimes by clever, I mean better, more interesting. Sometimes I just mean more contrived. So not as good. In general, on these video clips, I walked from the middle tee, which is the only concrete tee, to the yellow basket. But there are other tee and basket combinations you could use on this course, and therefore this course has high replayability in terms of variation. Now the next 2 holes, numbers 4 and 5, are the 2 tightest holes on this course. This is also the shortest hole on this course, number 4 is. You see the white basket here, and we're going to keep walking past that to get to the yellow basket back here. These couple of holes are really just throw and hope you get a good ricochet off a tree. I could say throw and hope you don't hit a tree, but you'll almost surely going to hit a tree. Hole number 5. Now, an interesting thing about this hole. The scorecard says that this hole is a par 3. The tee sign says it's a par 4. Given the tightness of this hole, I probably like this hole as a short par 4. Even though the length, based on just the length, it could be a par 3. The basket is coming up here. Now, in order to get to the next tee, the 6th tee, you have to walk to the left of the basket down to a 2-track dirt road, turn right on the dirt road, and then look for a bench to the left. The bench is right beside the 6th tee. There's the view from behind the basket back to the 5th tee. Sixth hole is the longest hole on the front 9, and it is a sweeping dogleg to the right. You see a mando here off to the right, and that guards the inside of the dogleg. I don't like that mando. Maybe you could say that the mando protects people on the 2-track dirt road, which is also a walking trail off to the right, but I still don't like that mando. One thing about this hole, though, this hole is a nice change of pace from the previous few holes, which have been fairly short, fairly tight par 3s. This hole is much longer. It's also a little bit more open. You can see the basket here tucked behind a trio of trees here. I wouldn't say this is my favorite hole on this course, but it is a nice change of pace from what we've seen so far. 7th hole. Now, there's an island of trees here, directly between the tee and the basket. You could shape your disc flight to go either direction around the island, to go either side of the island. As I stood on the tee, to go to the right of the island looked more natural to me, and that's the reason I'm walking that direction. As you'll see, when we get up close to the basket here, there are going to be a few more trees you have to deal with. and that's true regardless of which way you go around the island. This is actually my favorite hole among the wooded holes, and therefore my favorite hole on the front 9. You have to make a decision and then commit to a throw and execute a throw on this hole. 8th hole, and this is another short, tight, heavily wooded hole. It does play slightly uphill. I did notice as I played here that the area off to the left is a little more open than the area where this hole is located. And so if they relocated this hole a little bit to the left, that would make for a little more variety on this part of the course. In terms of wooded and open holes, the first 9 and last 2 holes are heavily wooded on this course. The other 7 holes are more open and they're also longer. So we are going to break out of the woods here, but not until the back 9. You'll notice the basket is located on top of this little mound, which makes putting more interesting. 9th hole and final hole on the front 9. It's another short and fairly tight and heavily wooded hole, but you can see the clearing we're going to break into in the distance here on number 10. Since this is the last hole on the front 9, I do want to thank you for watching. Parking full time would not be anything without the people who watch. I realize that every day, and I thank you every day. Also, I took a vow not to make any monetary compensation for anything I do for this project, and so all I get for making these videos are your likes, your subscribes, your views, and your comments, and I do appreciate all of those things. That's the end of the front 9. I'll see you on the back 9.